Right now, as you're watching this, millions of Americans are waking up with a knot in their stomach. Not because of the headlines, not because of politics, but because of one simple question. Is my Social Security safe? If you rely on SSI, SSDI, or Social Security retirement benefits, this video is not background noise. This is about your rent, your groceries, your medications, and your family's stability in February 2026 and beyond. For many households, Social Security isn't extra money. It is the money. It's the difference between keeping the lights on or falling behind. It's the reason prescriptions get filled. It's the safety net Americans were promised after a lifetime of work, sacrifice, and contribution. And right now, that safety net is changing in ways most people don't fully understand. Here's the hard truth. Payments don't just stop out of nowhere. They're interrupted quietly, a missed notice, a small rule change, a system update you didn't know applied to you, and suddenly, the deposit you were counting on doesn't arrive. That's not fear-mongering. That's reality. And it happens every single month to people who thought everything was fine. February 2026 matters, not because of one headline, but because of how multiple policy adjustments, system reviews, and verification processes collide at once. When that happens, the people who are informed stay protected. The people who aren't, they're left scrambling. This video is your early warning system. We're breaking this down in plain English. No confusing jargon, no political spin, no nonsense. Just what you need to know, what you need to watch for, and what you need to do now to protect your payments. Stay with me, because what we're covering next could save you months of stress, hours on the phone, and money you cannot afford to lose. And yes, what you don't do right now can hurt you later. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. Why February 2026 is different, and why people are nervous every year has Social Security updates. That's normal, but February 2026 is setting off alarm bells for one big reason. It's a convergence point. Multiple changes, reviews, and administrative processes are hitting at the same time, and when that happens, mistakes spike, and so do payment disruptions. This isn't about benefits being taken away. That's not how it works. The real risk comes from eligibility verification, income cross-checks, living arrangement reviews, and system recalibrations that happen behind the scenes. These are routine on paper, but in real life, they can be messy. Think about it from the government's perspective. Systems update. Data is compared across agencies. Old records get flagged. New thresholds are applied. When even one piece of your information doesn't line up perfectly, your account can get paused. Not permanently, but long enough to cause real damage to your finances. And here's the part most people don't realize. You're often notified after the fact. The letter comes late. The portal update is vague. The phone lines are backed up. Meanwhile, bills don't wait. February is especially critical because it follows year-end reporting, tax-related data syncing, and annual recalculations. That's when discrepancies surface. That's when the system asks, does this person still qualify exactly the way we think they do? If you're on SSI, SSDI, or even standard Social Security retirement, you're not exempt. Different programs, same system. And when that system tightens, the margin for error shrinks. The good news, most issues are preventable or fixable quickly, if you know what to watch for. The bad news? People who assume nothing has changed for me are often the ones hit hardest. That's why this update matters. Not next month, not later this year, now. Because the earlier you act, the safer your payments are when February arrives. The silent payment killer, missed notices and outdated info. Let's talk about the most common reason people lose or delay their Social Security payments. And it's not fraud, and it's not income. It's missed communication. Social Security still relies heavily on mail, online accounts, and official notices that look boring and harmless. A plain envelope, a generic message, something easy to ignore. But inside that notice is often a deadline, and missing it can freeze your benefits without warning. If you've moved recently, changed banks, switched phone numbers, or stopped checking your online SSA account, you're at risk. The system assumes your information is accurate unless told otherwise. And when something doesn't match, it doesn't call you, it flags you. February 2026 reviews will rely on information already on file. That means what they think is true about you matters more than what's actually true. If their records say one thing and reality says another, you're the one who pays the price. This is especially dangerous for SSI recipients, where living arrangements, support, and income details are critical. But SSDI and retirement beneficiaries aren't immune. Even a small banking mismatch can cause a deposit to bounce. And once that happens, restarting payments can take weeks. The scariest part? Many people don't realize there's a problem until the money doesn't show up. That's why one of the most important steps you can take right now is verifying every detail in your Social Security account. Address, direct deposit, contact info, marital status if applicable. It's boring, but it's protective. Think of it like locking your front door. You don't do it because something bad is guaranteed to happen. You do it because you can't afford to take the risk. SSI, SSDI, SSA, different programs, same risks. A lot of people assume, that doesn't apply to me. I'm on a different program. That assumption is dangerous. Yes, SSI, SSDI, and Social Security retirement are different. They have different rules, different funding structures, and different eligibility standards. But here's the key point. They're administered through the same system. And when that system updates or tightens, everyone feels it. SSI recipients face the most scrutiny because the program is needs-based. Income changes, support from family, living arrangements, all of it matters. SSDI recipients often think they're safer because benefits are work-based, but ongoing disability status and income limits are still monitored. Retirement beneficiaries assume stability, but even they can face issues tied to identity verification, banking changes, or survivor benefit adjustments. February 2026 doesn't target one group. It impacts workflows across all programs. This is why misinformation spreads so fast online. One person says SSI is changing, and another says that won't affect SSDI. The truth, system changes don't ask which label you fall under before they flag your account. The smart move isn't panic, it's preparation. Knowing where you fit, what rules apply to you, and where the common failure points are. And that's exactly what we're building toward in this video. What you should do right now, not later. Let's get practical. If you do nothing else after watching this video, do these things. First, log into your Social Security account. If you don't have one, create it. This is no longer optional in 2026. This is where notices appear first, where updates are posted, and where problems often show up before your mailbox. Second, confirm your direct deposit information. One wrong digit can delay a payment. One closed account can trigger a suspension. Third, review your personal details. Address, phone number, email. If Social Security can't reach you, they won't chase you. They'll pause and wait. Fourth, if you're on SSI or SSDI, double-check any recent changes in income, work activity, or living situation. If something changed and wasn't reported, that's where problems start. None of this costs money. None of it requires a lawyer. It just requires attention. Think of it as an insurance policy for your benefits. What happens if you ignore this? Real consequences. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The system doesn't bend for emergencies. If your payment is paused, the bills don't pause with it. Rent still comes due. Utilities still charge late fees. Pharmacies don't hand out medication on promises. People lose weeks or months trying to fix problems that could have been avoided in minutes. And when February 2026 hits, call volumes will spike, wait times will grow, fixes will slow down. Being early is power. Rumors versus reality. Don't fall for clickbait. You're going to see wild claims online, massive cuts, payments ending, programs collapsing overnight. That's not how this works. Changes are administrative, procedural, and technical, but they still matter because they affect access, not eligibility itself. Don't panic. Don't share misinformation. Do stay informed. This channel exists to cut through the noise. How to protect your family, not just yourself. If you help a parent, spouse, or disabled family member manage benefits, this applies to you too. One missed notice can affect an entire household. Check in. Help them log in. Make sure they're protected. What comes next after February? February isn't the end. It's a checkpoint. Those who pass it smoothly won't even notice. Those who don't will feel it immediately. Preparation decides which side you're on. The biggest mistake Americans make, assuming I'm safe. One of the most dangerous thoughts right now is this: nothing has ever gone wrong with my Social Security before, so I'm fine. That belief has cost people thousands of dollars, and it's exactly why February 2026 is catching so many Americans off guard. Here's the reality nobody talks about. Social Security systems don't care about history. They care about current verification. You could have received benefits perfectly for 5, 10, even 20 years and still face a disruption because of one technical mismatch. A data refresh doesn't look at loyalty. It looks at alignment. Does everything match right now? If the answer is unclear, your account becomes a question mark, and question marks don't get paid quickly. This is especially painful for seniors and disabled Americans who plan their entire month around one deposit date. When that date passes without a payment, panic sets in. Phones ring nonstop. Letters are sent. Appeals are filed. But while all that happens, real life doesn't slow down. Groceries don't wait. Rent doesn't wait. Medical needs definitely don't wait. What makes this worse is that many people only find out there's an issue after the system has already acted. The notice explaining the problem often arrives days or weeks later. By then, the damage has started. Late fees, borrowed money, emotional stress that hits families hard. February 2026 is not about assuming the worst. It's about refusing to assume everything is fine without checking. Being proactive doesn't mean you're paranoid. It means you're protecting what you earned. Think about it this way. If your bank sent a message saying, "Please confirm your information to avoid account restrictions," would you ignore it? Of course not. Social Security deserves the same attention. Maybe even more, because there's no overdraft protection for missed benefits. The people who stay ahead of this don't feel the impact. The people who wait, they feel it all at once. Final warning and final hope. What you do next matters. Let's bring this home, because this moment matters more than most people realize. February 2026 isn't just another month on the calendar. It's a stress test, not just for the system, but for how prepared you are. And preparation isn't about fear. It's about control. It's about making sure that decisions made behind a desk don't accidentally derail your life. If you've watched this far, you already care. That alone puts you ahead of millions of Americans who won't realize something's wrong until their account balance tells them. Here's what separates those who struggle from those who stay stable: information and timing. You don't need to memorize regulations. You don't need to become an expert. You just need to stay alert, stay informed, and stay connected to updates that actually matter. Not rumors, not clickbait panic, but real explanations that put your family first. This channel exists for one reason: to make sure you're not blindsided. Because when changes happen quietly, silence is expensive. Hope doesn't come from ignoring reality. Hope comes from understanding it early enough to act. And the good news is, you still have time. Time to check, time to prepare, Time to protect what keeps your household running. If Social Security is part of your life, or your parents' life, or someone you love, staying informed isn't optional anymore. It's essential. So don't treat this as just another video. Treat it as a reminder that your future deserves attention. Stay with us, stay updated, and make sure the next time February rolls around, your payments show up exactly when you need them, without stress, without surprises, and without regret. Your future self will thank you. If this video helped you understand what's coming, stay connected. Future updates can mean the difference between stability and stress. Stay informed, stay ready, and we'll see you in the next update.